obviously. I think there will be a couple of departures in the near term, but most people I really anticipate are going to stick it out. As much as they supported the governor, they also supported what we were here doing. David Paterson's a special guy, and I think people feel a duty to the state and to him to stick it out. But I don't think you'll see too many departures in the coming weeks. I think there will be a long transition period.
What's the schedule for Monday? It will be 1 o'clock to the legislature?
Correct.
And then
Correct.
he'll be sworn in at 1 and then speak to the legislature?
Correct. Well, they'll do it from the rostrum, so I'm not sure if it'll be before the speech or after. I think it's first, and then he'll speak. I'll confirm that minute by minute for you. But then that day is going to be pretty subdued.
So
his request, he doesn't want it to be a day where there are big celebrations and dinners and receptions. He really wants it to be fairly quiet. So there may be one reception or two.
There's going to be kind of a mini state of the state where he kind of lay out what his priorities are.
It'll be an address. An address. I wouldn't call it state of the state like. I don't anticipate it'll be 50 minutes, which is what I believe the governor's ran, but it'll be.
Is President Bush visiting Governor Spitzer tomorrow, or is there any?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
What, if any, role would Governor Spitzer play in the transition? I mean, has he briefed the lieutenant governor? I mean, there are things he knows that only he knows.
Yeah, there are certain things that do need to be transferred over, whether that's bills that have been signed or bills that were on his desk. That's kind of the most immediate piece, and that's ongoing as we speak.
Are you staying on with Governor Paterson?
In the short term, at the very least, I'm helping the transition. My entire staff is feel a duty to help him. And in the end, he needs to have his own people, but it's an honor to serve him right now.
Christine, has he made a decision about whether he's going to live in the mansion?
I'm sorry?
Whether he's going to reside in the mansion?
I don't know yet. I imagine he will use it when he's in town, but I can confirm that for you.
Are there any talks between Governor Spitzer and federal prosecutors right now, and you know the status of that?
I will refer you to his lawyers.
They're not calling back.
I will let them know that you're asking that question. I don't know the answer to it.
The executive orders. I mean, he was asked about the one about the campaign finance, but can you speak to the rest of it?
Sure. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. Again, while he and the governor share many ideas and ideals, he will have his own way of doing things, and I think that he's entitled to. And I think in the coming days and weeks we'll hear whether or not certain of these are kept or not. But right now I think everyone can respect the need that he has to review things and really be briefed fully and to take some time.
Are there any?
He's not looking to make drastic. Just so everyone is very aware here. We asked about staff, he asked about policy positions. He has expressed an utter desire to make sure that there's continuity from a policy perspective, from the perspective of the people here. Really does want to make sure that this is a smooth transition, so I think you will be seeing a lot of continuity policy-wise.
Are there any controls?
State-wise, Governor Spitzer spoke with Governor Paterson about the importance of upstate projects like Midtown, the University of Rochester. Have they had a discussion about those things?
Again, it's a process, so I can't say that every project has come up, but it is absolutely a process of being briefed by all of the deputy secretaries. There was a meeting this morning between the lieutenant governor and his innermost staff. All of them have agreed to be helpful and have been briefing him on the policy issues, such as the one you mentioned.
Is he going to stay here in Albany through the weekend, or is he going to travel the state?
I'm not sure whether he'll probably be at the Capitol a bunch, probably be at his house. I can get you his schedule. It's really chock full right now of meetings. I think, as you heard today, very focused on getting back to business and
Do you anticipate him touring the state sometime soon?
The lieutenant governor has always traveled quite a bit, and I anticipate that he will continue that tradition. I'm not sure how soon. I think all of you know what a traumatic week this has been and how much a transition takes. Governor Spitzer had the luxury of 2 months. Lieutenant Governor Paterson is not going to have that time. So he really does need to spend the time here with the staff, getting briefed on all of these problems.
Has Governor Spitzer agreed not to do any last-minute commutations or pardons or exercise any kind of executive action that he legally could do?
My understanding is that he won't, but I will update you on that.
Has the governor reached a deal yet with prosecutors? To your knowledge, Governor Spitzer?
That question was asked. I will refer you to his lawyers.
Christine, can you kind of sum up for us what the mood is, if you will, today in the governor's inner circle?
I have to tell you that today is a new day, and all of us here are working hard at work. Have been up since early this morning. Many people up late last night. after a really hard few days. I have to say it's therapeutic to be back to work. People realize that they have a duty here to the state, to the people, and that's what we're doing. It's been back-to-back meetings and returning your calls and getting everything done. So the mood here is one of it's still a bit somber, but people are getting back to work.
Christine, this is a unique situation, but we have had 2 governors resign in the past. And I'm wondering if you and your colleagues, as you do transition, are you looking at how it was done when Nelson Rockefeller was succeeded by Malcolm Wilson and in 1913 when we had an impeachment? I mean, is history any kind of guide in this?
I think there's a lot you can learn from history, but again, there's just a lot of day-to-day work to be done and not a terrible amount of time for reflection. I think some people certainly are looking back, and I think it's helpful guidance, but we're in a unique situation that requires unique action.
What role is Governor Spitzer playing in the transition?
A similar question was asked. Again, there's a degree of transfer of power that has to take place in terms of bills that are on his desk, currently on his desk to be signed, just to name the sort of first and foremost thing that's on his mind. So there are things that need to be done, and that's what he's doing, making sure that David has the information that he needs. A lot of the briefings are happening at the staff level, and from early this morning, Lieutenant Governor's been being briefed.
Is it possible?
Has the Lieutenant Governor talked at all since Governor Spitzer resigned? Talked to him today, and does he anticipate before he becomes governor officially to talk with him again?
Have they spoken today?
Yes.
I believe they spoke once today.
And do you think, is there any kind of policy as to whether he's going to speak to him in the next few days to kind of get guidance on the governing?
Imagine they'll have to speak repeatedly. There's quite a bit that needs to be transitioned over, but that said, a lot of that can be done at the staff level, so there will be some contact. There has to be. And the governor, Governor Spitzer, assures the public that he will do everything possible to ensure the smoothest transition.
How is Silda doing?
I don't want to speak for the family. This is a tremendously difficult time, and I think all of you can probably imagine.
After the initial transition, how active a role is Spitzer going to play in Paterson's administration?
He will have no official role.
Is he going to be here on Monday?
The governor?
Yes.
Christine, the budget deadline, is it possible to move it back at all?
Is it constitutionally possible?
Yeah, I mean, given the situation, make it May 1st, June 1st.
That's a great question. I don't know.
Does Spitzer plan on returning at any time?
I just to finish up with that question, we are operating under the assumption that the deadline is the deadline, and that's why staff, budget staff and others are here.
Is the whole
working
executive
late
budget
hours.
back on the table? That's what it sort of sounded like today.
Again, this is a transition period, and the governor and lieutenant governor have a lot of work to do. I think that the executive budget is a good budget, but again, the lieutenant governor will be engaging in these negotiations, and it's really up to him how they proceed. And we'll know more. And the one thing that you should be assured of is we're keeping you updated as that process goes on. I know that that's the biggest transitional piece that affects all of you, and we'll keep you posted.
Christine, it sounded like the numbers are worse. It sounded like from his remarks the budget gap is even worse than the $4.8 billion, and the economy's worse.
I'll tell you this: it's something that the budget staff and our economists, the state's economists, monitor daily. And I've got to tell you that while the budget office is not forecasting a recession, that it's something we're very concerned about. And you saw the reestimate that we had to do not too long ago, and it's something you have to keep an eye on, and Lieutenant Governor's very aware of that.
In terms of the boxing up of Governor Spitzer's personal effects here at the mansion, etc., has that already begun?
It has.
Removing
It has.
Is he still in New York City, the governor?
He has no plan of coming back up here?
Not at this time.
He's in New York City?
He's in his apartment in New York City.
To follow up on the question, how unofficial a role is Spitzer going to play in Paterson's?
I think, as you heard, they're friends, and I think that relationship will continue.
Christine, are you staying on? Is it going to be staffing?
The question was already asked. Again, it's to the Lieutenant Governor to figure out the staff that he wants. I mean, in the interim, I'm here for the transition.
Do you want to stay?
I want to help the Lieutenant Governor. So in the interim, I'm here and happy, and it's an honor to be here and good to be back to work.
Christine, I'm sorry, I missed the very beginning of what you were saying.
Sorry.
So I apologize if the Al Haig question's been answered already. But if something happens in the next few days, some sort of a state emergency of some kind, who's in charge?
The governor is the governor. Governor Spitzer is the governor until Monday at noon. That said, we are working to have a very clear transition period where decisions are being made in a way that respects the fact that we will have a new governor on Monday.
Can you tell us who besides Rich Baum has resigned so far, the inner circle?
I will get back to you. But there, again, I just want to reiterate, there won't be many resignations in the very near future. Lieutenant Governor really does want to have continuity and a smooth transition, and knows that the people that are here are fabulous people that have worked incredibly hard and are the right people in many ways to keep this agenda moving. So there will be some changes, but I wouldn't expect too many.
If Governor Paterson
Directives or orders Governor Spitzer has given since scandal broke?
Directives or orders?
Has he given some directives or orders to indicate that he is governing?
Again, it's more of a, I wouldn't say directives or orders, it's more of a transition period where information is being transferred, where briefings are occurring, where bills that are on his desk are being discussed. So
He hasn't asked anybody to do anything with his papers or materials that might be in the public,
not that I'm aware.
Public documents.
Not that I'm aware.
Has he signed any bills? Are there any bills that he needs to sign that?
I can get you an update on what's pending at the moment.
Christine, I'm sorry, I missed the part about the continuity, and that actually goes in line
Let me
with your
take
question.
this one and I'll come back to you just because I think a lot of you folks have heard that 3 times. Sorry, your question
How's the
was...
staff holding up? And what's your reaction? I don't know if you talked about this yet when you got the phone call. How were you told? I know you've been with them for a long time.
I'll go to your first question just about the staff mood here. Again, people are really happy to be back at work. There's a lot to be done, and I think that this is a team that has done tremendously well during challenging times. And right now, everyone is gearing up to get things done. And it's back-to-back planning meetings for this event today, and for Monday, and for beyond. So right now, I think people are just are relieved to be back at work, relieved to have such clear direction from the Lieutenant Governor, who really has stepped in and from the earliest moment this morning when he had a meeting with all of the staff. I can't tell you how great it was to hear from him personally. The mood, the staff really appreciated him reaching out to all of us so soon, assuring people that they had their jobs and that work of government would continue. Thanked them. So it was an emotional morning, and I think I thank the Lieutenant Governor for doing it.
If as governor, if Governor Paterson travels outside the state, power gets transferred over to Joe Bruno, are there any plans to either change that or prevent that scenario?
Sorry, the question is if the Lieutenant Governor travels out of state right now?
Then the acting governor of the state would be Joe Bruno.
I assure you that Lieutenant Governor has so much work to do right now, he's not leaving the state.
That continuity, you said your jobs are protected?
Again, the Lieutenant Governor will need to bring in some of his own people. He's certainly got people that he's worked with for years. He's got a great staff here, so I think there will be some meshing of those two staffs. I think there will be some changes. Clearly, some people may depart, but I think largely people are going to stick here and stick to the work at hand. There's a lot to do, and I think people realize that they have a duty to the state and to the public.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you find out more about